The system and the government of the ANC, they've turned South Africans into a joke. Nobody takes us serious anywhere in the world, anywhere else. Because we are in a space where we own nothing, from apartheid to illegal foreigners. So we are just, you can't say anything you have made a joke about. When this tendering system came, it collapsed all other means of making money, because it was a quick way of being rich and began to look down upon people who were helpers, kitchen, the maids, those who work in the gardens. The people who are paying tax is the South Africans. Then South Africans must come first. There is no confusion about that. No. It's South African first and the rest.
King David Studio Podcast.
Today we hang out with someone whose opinions you want to hear. He came up with the label, South Africa is a movie. This is the guy we owe full credit for that phrase. He's right here. Mcebo Dlamini.
My brother.
Paganiel cool.
Hey, team yamakhosi. Team yezwe.
Ah, yeah.
Ikoti Pagania, ikoti.
I like how you even said Gastswana, ikoti.
Yeah, no, team enkulu. We are looking forward to the season.
Your involvement with the team, what is that right now?
Well, what can we say? Firstly, I think I am a biggest supporter of Orlando Pirates. And beyond that, we are the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Okay, you make sure things happen.
We make sure that what the end product is as the fans and the public expect.
So mandliwa play monina kahle
masidliwe nokudla nokwehla nobuthongo kusasibuka. At some point even the sleeping tablets don't work.
Yes,
I can tell you that when we lost the game against Pyramids,
yes,
I didn't sleep for 3 days. Couldn't eat. Sleeping tablets were not working.
Sure.
And then that's where I felt that this thing it's in the bones. Yeah, it's dangerous, this thing.
Just so you know, we lost against the same team. I had the same problem.
Yeah, I felt some form of some comfort. Yeah, that's when I started sleeping again. No, I'm not alone, in this thing.
But when the country can go back to normal.
Yeah, we are not alone. Sometimes it happens, this thing, when something terrible happens to you, and then when you feel the pain and you realize, no, man, I'm not alone, then you are like, then it's cool. Yeah.
We wish you an excellent 2025-26 season. Obviously, you're the official number 2, so we'll see how that goes.
No, the tables shall change. There's even a song of the criminals where they say zizochig izinto. The criminals that masquerade as comrades, but zizochig izinto. Nobody thought that Liverpool will win the league this season.
That's true.
And nobody saw Real Madrid
winning this.
Real Madrid being shambles, like they were last season.
Yeah.
They were nowhere to be found.
That's true.
They were bamboozled, humiliated by Barcelona, mooring them 4-5. It was shocking. So it's football, but I think it's the fun of football. And also remember that a strong Orlando Pirates is also good for Sundowns.
It's actually so good.
Because if you are going to have a weak sparring partner, you are also going to be a weak boxer.
In that statement, what do you say about Kaizer Chiefs? In that very statement?
I think Kaizer Chiefs is in a bad state than the 2 other teams. They're at a state where they are still trying to find their footing. We can't even say they are crawling. They are still trying to find their footing. They are way behind the top 4 teams. So, but it's the truth, and we will be putting unnecessary pressure on them to put them in the same bracket as if they will be contesting for the league. You expect your Stellenbosch, you expect your Sundowns, your Orlando Pirates, Polokwane City or sometimes maybe your Skukunes. Those are the teams that you can see that they're in it. They're trying, but sometimes, the financial fair play then comes up.
I'm not bringing it up. I'm not bringing it up. The financial fair play. We close this soccer chat with a simple question that has to do with Chiefs in Trapile, all the same. The very Chiefs that you're criticizing, they beat you nicely.
Well,
you gave them a trophy they haven't had in 10 years.
Well, sometimes, there can't be a funeral all the time. Sometimes there must be a wedding. And God is for us all. So at some point, they needed that win so that it's a false impression that they are back.
Mara, they found it from you.
Yeah, but...
We are blaming you, all of us.
Sometimes you win and lose. Sometimes you lose the game you were supposed to win.
That's true.
It goes with luck. It goes with other things that we don't understand. Maybe we gave them because we were feeling bad. Like, no, man. Marky, it can't be. Man. It's terrible now,
10 years.
Yeah, no, because we don't want your people to go to Marabastan. Let's give you this thing so that your fans can come back to Soweto. So let's keep this thing in Soweto.
Because they will never move from Chiefs to you.
Yeah,
never.
Rather because the next thing these people will be wearing yellow. So let's give you so that we keep this thing here, So maybe it was a conversation between the two chairmen. They have a long standing relationship.
Same support. Same sponsor.
You can see I'm aging and I'm not feeling well lately.
Give me one.
Yeah, just give me a present, man. 10 years, give me a car, but quaka.
Anyway, enough with soccer.
Yeah.
The country is in... How do you describe the state of South Africa right now? If you were just a spectator, someone who's far away watching it as a movie, in your words, how would one describe this movie?
It's a fiction.
Sure.
It's a fictional movie. Some of the things that are happening in the country, when you tell someone narrating a story, they're unbelievable. We'll tell you, no, man, that's not possible. That's fiction. It's an AI thing. We're like, no. It's real time. It's realistic.
So that's what it's like happening. An AI story.
Yeah, it's like an AI story. We're like, no. Yeah, it's actually happening. Politicians are found with criminals, drug lords, and all sorts of things, and they say they were there to interview the criminal. But when the criminal was being arrested, they didn't scoop this thing as a breaking story. It's these things you can't explain what is happening in this country. It's funny and sad at the same time. It gives one mixed emotions.
Yes.
But at the end, when you are alone and looking back, you feel like it is more sad to be conscious. Being politically conscious and having the awareness, it's more painful than just being apolitical and you don't care, just drink alcohol, be busy with women. You just don't care. But once you care, you carry the burden.
Are you saying those who don't care live a far better life?
They are the ones who say, oh my gosh, you guys, what's wrong? We are no longer in apartheid. They don't realize that things are worse. They're worse than the apartheid that they don't even know or understand. We, as a country, we are at the bottom.
Sure.
We are at the bottom. We're in the pits. It is going to be extremely difficult to even get out of the pits where we are at now. We are becoming worse than Colombia during Escobar's time. The murder rate here is worse than in countries where there is war, in Ukraine. Here, the statistic says that the year alone, 28,000 people were shot and killed. There's no war here. Nothing. We are deemed to be a peaceful country. Democratic country with a constitution, but you have 28,000 people gunned down within a year. Far more than the war-torn countries, your DRC Congo, your Ukraine, your Palestine, and Israel.
There are no machine guns sounding randomly.
But people are falling.
Yeah.
Every day people are falling.
What is the cause of it?
It's lawlessness. It's lawlessness where you find it takes me back to say, where there is law without justice, it's like a wound without cure. So you have all these institutions that are meant to be, dealing with this thing, curbing this and that, but they're dysfunctional. So it leads to all of these things where they just turn a blind eye. Let me tell you, there's nothing that happens in this country that those in power don't know about.
Example?
There's nothing.
Example?
We have the military intelligence. You have the police intelligence. You have a home affairs intelligence. You understand that I'm just naming these things. Now, you mean to tell me that all these institutions can't dictate that there's a drug cartel here, there's human trafficking here, there are porous borders here, there's all of these things that are happening. But once there's noise, once there's public outcry, they arrest tomorrow to show you that they knew about all of these things, but they turned a blind eye on it.
Are you saying that the arrests of July, which we've seen in high numbers, are not as a result of police just really being good at what they do? Are you saying there's a different reason?
Well, police have always been equipped. Police have always been ready to do their work.
Okay.
But the problem is the power dynamics and the reporting line. Who do they get the mandate to do what? There is someone who says that there was a police that was saying a story, says they impound the illicit cigarette, a truck, millions worth in Zimbabwe, the Great Bridge. What is it called?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, they impound this thing. While they have stopped it, the driver calls someone. Then from nowhere, an order comes, say, release that truck.
Tells the people who are
The
impounding.
police.
Yes.
The constables.
Yeah.
Which means someone from above called to say, release those goods. And the goods were released.
Yo.
So now it says that those who have the higher ranks are the ones who are making the junior officers who are on the ground. Remember, the generals, the lieutenants, the sergeants are not the ones who are on the roads and on the streets who are fighting the criminals every day, but they are the ones who are issuing the orders and giving to the programs of the day. Don't search there, don't do that. They give the program. This is the station commanders. You have the mayor of Tshwane.
Yeah.
He was, I think it's yesterday, where they were there in Marabastad, cleaning the market there. Then while they were on it, they arrest some fellows who are on drugs. Yeah. He says, I've arrested this man 3 times already.
Sure.
This one with the eye.
I've seen him before.
I've arrested him 3 times. But look at him where I am finding him now. Then the question is, who is releasing this person?
Yeah.
Because they arrest him, take him to a police station. He is back doing what he was arrested for. That's the situation that we find ourselves into. The police always have capacity to do the work, but they are limited due to instructions to overlook certain things where they are bosses, because they must know where their bread is buttered.
Of course.
There is a lady, I've forgotten her name, who is in exile or in hiding in Bloemfontein. He
can't be in hiding if you know where she is.
But we don't know where, but he's in Blom,
Yeah.
where he's a police whistleblower.
Okay.
She has been speaking about a lot of these things that are transpiring now, but she was overlooked. At some point, she said she spoke about the Nandipa, the Makutumana story before they were arrested.
Whoa.
She says when Zizigodwa was the Minister of Intelligence, she emailed the president about a lot of things, and at some point, their hawks and the intelligence came to her and confiscated her cell phone, harassed her for breaking and speaking about things that are happening. It's a true story. If you can find that late, some people will confirm. Because she was throwing names to say they released the hawks and the intelligence to come to her there as if it was the minister of intelligence now acting on the information. And they are now confiscating the evidence that she had so that they can say, where's the evidence? And arrest her. That is the reality that is happening here in this country. The problem here in this country is that we have people who are occupying public office. We have people who are public representatives. Yes. 80%, if not most of them, in a serious country, in an ideal world, shouldn't be near any public office and any power. Most of them, in the real communist societies, they will be in the gallows, being hanged for corruption.
I don't imagine you are able, and I'm asking this very carefully, you're able to mention some of those people.
Well, because the things that they are doing are now public knowledge.
Okay.
They no longer care. These people are no longer hiding. These people, the crime, the arrogance, it's so present that they're no longer hiding that they're associated with these people.
What has led to us being so brazen in terms of the approach to crime? Clearly, if you're no longer afraid, you can walk around naked. No one is going to tell you because you're the man. What has led to us being like that? Lawlessness, yes, but being brazen and bold is something else.
Because crime in South Africa has been seen to be paying. When we were young, we were told that crime doesn't pay. But in the country, those people who are in crime are the ones who are bowling. Yeah. They have all the things that we want. Now, you have young people who are looking up to these people because they are occupying public offices. They are in the public eye. So it's the people we see. They are becoming the face of the country. So they are becoming idols. If your idol is a drug lord, you are saying the entire youth might be drug lords.
So they are mirror. They are a mirror that reflects the society.
They are the mirror that reflects the society. Now, when we were growing up, our idols were your Nelson Mandela, your Walter Sisulus, your Steve Bikos, your Dr. Kumalos. It was soccer players. Yes. That's why you had a lot of young people in the township had names like Shoes, Computer. Those were the names. Yes. But now, what are the names now? Ma 26, Ma 28, it's gangsterism. You go to Soweto now, you have groups, young kids, 14 years, they're into gangsterism. And most of them are children of your prosecutors, of the senior people in the police. You see them now being taken to rehab. It is shocking. That's the state of the country where the ANC lowered the bar or literally removed the bar to a level whereby people whom we knew to be eating sushi on top of bodies of naked women found it fit that they can actually be leaders of society. How they moved from being shipping queens and kings to being leaders of a country is shocking.
Help us, take us through the psychology that informed where we are. You use words like ANC removed the bar, not only lowered it.
They removed it.
But they did it with us watching. Yeah. And not only watching, but voting.
Yeah, participate.
100%. We are complacent to this crime. If it was a crime, we won't be witnesses. Yeah. We would be called as part of the criminals. Yeah. Because we empowered it and enabled it.
Yes.
How did we get to that as a society of Abantu who fought for freedom, who want a better life for themselves? How did we get to a point where, as you put it, and I'm using your words, where we have removed the bar because now we are counting all of us in that story?
Yeah. Now, remember that the colonization where we come from as a country they always say it's a colonization of a special type. Most of the time, colonization is not all about the dispossession and the capitalism and the economy. It's mostly about the culture. It's also about the mental state of the people. Now, the values. So, for me, it says the damage is huge. The damage that was caused by the then system. Now, we then, as South Africans, relied, like we always want heroes. Anyone who projects and profiles himself as a leader and as a hero, he will be followed. People no longer believe in doing things for themselves. And the system and the political parties capitalized on that in controlling the black masses of our people. Firstly, they found people working. The ANC found our parents working and feeding themselves.
It was actually illegal not to have a job.
It was illegal not to have a job.
During apartheid.
Even the RDP houses, they were paying for them, our parents, so that they are forced to work. Now, they forced those people to ensure that they are unemployed and rely on a 350 rand grant, which is now 370 or something. They created a dependent citizenry so that the citizens rely on them for survival, so you have to keep them into power. That's why most of the time in the previous times, when people were raising disgruntlement on the ANC, they were reminded now, though the ANC build you houses. No, the ANC is giving you grants. That's what the old people are saying. Umandela usakhela izindlu, umandela usifundisela abantwana. You know, so it's a mahal. That's systematic. So that you begin to overlook the bad things and then think about what I will starve. As if these things is an ANC things, not government policies. As if after them, these things won't happen. But there are certain things that have been happening now where we are beginning to imagine life without the ANC. There were fears that were always being perpetuated, you know, to say, hey, you will bring back apartheid. Hey, if you remove these people, you know, those things were real. But they were beating two stones with one. They were beating two birds with one stone.
Yes.
Where they will instill the fear on the black masses. Hey, if you don't vote us, you will bring apartheid. They go to the white people. If you keep on exposing and trying to remove us, the black people, there will be genocide. They will kill you. We are controlling the anger of these people. They will grab the land by force. That's why every day you hear Thabo Mbekis and all the black elite saying, no, land expropriation is not an ANC policy. But they always sing about it when they want votes. So that is the scaremongering that they go and tell the white people, the black people will take the land. They come this side, they say, you'll bring back apartheid. So it was systematic that they played into it, you know, into the minds up until a different crop of young people or generation, a generation that says, we were not there during apartheid. We were not there during Mandela's time. We are here now. We just arrived now. This is the state of the country, and we don't accept it, and we are rejecting it. We want a better South Africa. We want things done differently. And the ANC of today is always caught off guard. They can't defend anything because they are not used to being challenged. They are used to just doing things because they were alone. They enjoyed the hegemony for a long time. So now with the young crop that is questioning and challenging, look at them. They are not able to appoint the sitter boards anymore without it being contested. They are not able to pass budget anymore without it being contested. So it shocks them. They are found wanting. So it's a shift that is necessary. But more than anything, the ANC depoliticized the youth.
I want to go there because you're saying there is a youth energy that is questioning things, that is shaking this tree.
Yeah.
Tell me, who is that? Is it a political formation, or is it just pockets of this, or is it a general energy amongst young people? The ones who are saying we were not there, we are seeing the problems now.
Yeah. Well, the for me, I think the danger is the youth formation, the existing formal youth structures. They are a problem.
Okay.
Because they assume that because they are in the structures, they have an opportunity of being deployed. They have a better opportunity of a better life, handouts, close proximity to leadership and patronage.
And being appointed to boards.
They are appointed to boards of health. Yes,
exactly.
To earn 10,000 with no metric. So, but they will always do that so that they sell the idea to the others to say, if you question, you will starve. Those who are submissive, they are elevated. So most of the time, the existing structures are a problem. The people who are really shaking now is those who are not affiliated to anyone because they have nothing to lose besides themselves. They have no close proximity to anyone in the ANC. They are just speaking on facts. That's how Fees Must Fall was a success because it was not led by any political movement, but it was the youth of the time. Whether you were affiliated to whatever, you had to participate as an individual, not as a representative of that particular. That is where we are getting into now. And that's why you see a lot of this emergence of this civic organization, March on March. I think there's something
one like
March
that.
on March,
Yes.
which is, dealing with the illegal immigrants in the country.
Dudulla is one.
Dudulla.
Yeah.
There's quite a number of them. But they are not the first. But because the ANC of Zuma going back had the political intelligence, you can't take that away from them. They were able to kill a lot of these things.
Of the youth energy.
And these civic movements. You remember Sanko. Is it Sanko, the one that is for townships and what?
Yes.
Where is it now? It was swallowed by the system. These civic movements were there, but once they start putting them in ministerial position, MEC, it's gone.
But we saw something similar. And I'm not saying they are no longer effective.
Yeah.
Your fellow comrades during Fees Must Fall.
Yeah.
Some of them got appointed
Precisely.
to higher positions.
Yeah.
I can ask you today, right now as we speak, where are they?
Well,
Because we expect the same militancy that you guys carried during that time.
Now, you see the difference with civic movements or social movements is that they are not political parties. Most of the time they are reactionary. So they are reacting to a situation. If there's a problem, they are formed to deal with a specific problem. So they explode. So they react to they are eminent. They are solving a problem eminently. Fees Must Fall was a hit of the moment. So we felt as young people at the time that we were suffocating. We couldn't breathe. Then we exploded. So now most of them, we are no longer students. We have left the system. 10 years ago. Fees Must Fall happened 10 years ago.
Yes.
So we have left the system 10 years ago. So now, which means I can't go back to vets. I no longer know the problems there.
Pause. But you are in parliament.
For
example.
I'm going there.
For example, okay, go ahead.
I'm going there.
Yeah.
So now, but because activism is a way of life, it's you. So you remain an activist because there are problems every day. So those who are in parliament now should still be advocating for the youth, for the universities there, because they understand that space better than Gwede, who has never been in campus, in as much as he has degrees, but he has never stayed at res. He has never been a member of SASCO or participate. They learned through, what is it thing, the post.
Yes, distant learning.
You see, so
Yes.
they can't appreciate or understand the struggles of people who were on campus. They will never understand those things. But these ones who are now in parliament, who were on the ground, they deep down know nothing has changed. Fees must fall changed nothing. Only to trigger a conversation and try to destabilize the system. But collapsing it completely meant a constant and continuing program that ended when we left. So I have a problem because we have an issue where, for instance, we had Nompendulo Mkhatshwa, the former Vets SRC president,
Yes.
who was even in the committee of education there in parliament. Now, we expect those people to be leading this thing and championing it and be the voice. But you see the newcomers of the EFF who have just came now, they're the ones who are being vocal on this thing because they are still fresh from university. There was an incident where immediately when they took office in 2019, Bonompendulo, the struggles were still happening there. The students went to her and then she told them about process. Then I knew that she's finished.
She's gone.
It's the same thing that happened with Ronald Lamola when they were contesting for elections of 2019. She was using the struggles of Fees Must Fall and using that. No, we are going to drop the charges of all the people who were arrested in Fees Must Fall. We will do this. Did they do that? We are carrying a criminal records today. We were found guilty in 2020 when they took office in 2019 using the ticket of Fees Must Fall, that they will, cancel all those charges there. When we wrote to him with my lawyers, he started telling me about processes, and I knew that this is an imbecile.
But then it almost sounds like the story is predictable. You fight for a cause, that cause, there's a mini victory. Fees must fall. And then your name is branded. You appear in covers of magazines. And then you get appointed as a parliamentarian. And then the story goes, you become pretty useless to the very people that propelled your career, so to speak. That sounds like a predictable story because you're using two examples. But then how do we solve this? You're saying there's young people who are now talking. If the story that you're saying is predictable, then they won't, in no time, they'll be telling us about processes.
Now, you see, the problem is that when they were taken to parliament, they were now isolated from the program and from the generational mission. They now became individuals. They now become a black sheep in large numbers of sheep that are white. They are only there, they can't say anything. I don't know how many times they were given an opportunity. Apparently, the thing of parliament is like setting a first level. Who must speak, apparently they decide who must speak. There are people that are in parliament who are coming from Fees Must Fall that we have never heard them speak in parliament. From the EFF, from the ANC itself. They've never been given the opportunity to stand up and address issues. So it means they were taken there to silence them. Or not necessarily them, but to silence the group of the youth, the generation of Fees Must Fall, so that when they speak, they say, yeah, but some of you are in parliament. So they were not silencing these ones, but they were silencing the generation of Fees Must Fall to say some of your colleagues are in parliament, so that when you speak, they say, no, you are bitter because your friend is in parliament and you are not. So they demoralize the youth. On the other hand, they weaponized the universities to demilitarize because they felt that most of the campuses were too militant. Now, the clamping down of that, the arrest, the criminal records, weaponized the universities to say, if you do this, look at where Mcebo are. Look at where who is are. The careers have ended. So you scare these ones, who are on that's why the campuses today are apolitical. There's no activity. There's just absolutely nothing. You have coconuts being SRC presidents. You have all of these things.
What is a coconut in your definition?
It's the rich kids who have no sense. There's no sense of living. They are living for nothing. They have everything. They are not worried about anything. They don't care whether the fees go up. They don't care whether res goes up. They don't stay at res because they are driving to campus. They don't care about dining hall because they don't eat there. But they are now leading those who are victims of the systematic exclusion of the black poor masses accessing universities. That's the problem. When we got to vets, we experienced that. The SRC was led by the rich kids who signed and agreed that the university must demolish a res for parking.
Yeah, my thought.
In a country where in most universities were complaining that there are no residences,
yes.
there are no beds.
Yes.
Vets was demolishing a res for parking. Then PKV.
I see that area.
But unfortunately, it ended up being demolished once we had left.
Wow.
They waited for us who were fighting to leave. Even after we fought hard for it. At some point, we shut down the business school. Because we were told that it is the business school that wants parking. So the res that I'm talking about was PKV2. It is there in the business school and EOH residence, which is for medical students. They demolished this res for parking. Who is in the business school? It's the elite ANC people. Because me and you can't afford the 500,000 to go to the business school. It is the rich kids and the elite blacks who want parking and sacrifice residences for children who comes from Tabanchu, who come from Ofimvaba and Musina.
Who end up sleeping in libraries.
Who end up sleeping in toilets. Even libraries are better. At vets, we have students who are sleeping in toilets.
Yo.
And it's a prestigious university, by the way. With the image that it shows out there. But once you are inside, you see the rot. It's like when guests are invited into a house, they are normally placed in the sitting room. They are not shown the kitchen because there are cockroaches there and cupboards that are falling.
Are you saying that's the state of our country?
Yes.
We're about to host a G20.
They will only be shown Sentin. That's why Dada Morero is demolishing shacks in Sentin. The thing is not progressive, what he's doing. He wants to hide the dirty linen for the visitors. In Soweto, where I come from in the south, they're even putting cameras everywhere. Even robots have cameras now. The robots have sensors. They count cars and scan because you are going to Nazareth. But in the other south of Johannesburg, Rosettenville, where drugs are doing as it is, their side of Mayfair, there are no even robots and electricity. It's just a dumping area. That's how these people are. They don't have mechanisms or plans of solving the problems of the country. They're just putting an icing, to make the cake look better. But when you go in there, it's like you are eating bread, not a cake.
I want to touch on a number of things, but I want this conversation to lead to a place that uncovers our state of mind.
Yeah.
But with a historic perspective. And bear with me for a second.
Yeah.
You've described people who suffered in the trenches.
Yeah.
And then once they got the key to the safe, their personalities changed.
Yeah.
They became different people. You made reference to the students who did that. Let's talk about the youth of 76, for example.
They're in power today.
Yes,
They're the ones who are oppressing us.
Help me understand what happens to us for us to become people who understand struggle so perfectly. And then once we have the keys to the safe, we forget about it. Even Hugh Masekela wrote a song about that very thing in an album called Bopa, where he says, once they got to the top, they didn't answer our calls anymore. Why? What happens to us?
You see,
because the story keeps repeating itself. It happened in Zimbabwe, they tell you the same story, and many other African countries.
It's greed. It's greed, mostly that is as it takes over people. It's power and greed that then it takes over. But also remember that we can be in the revolution. We can be in the struggle. We are not in the struggle for the same reasons. You know, and you pick that up. We picked that up also when we were leading the student revolution. That we were there in the forefront. You know, I can tell you a story of one person who says to me, she was not, at the time, she was not politically involved. He knew nothing about politics. But one of the colleagues was coming from a political background. The family itself, they were activists. But this one, you know, envied the other friend of hers, who comes from this. And then she says, unfortunately for her, she had to build herself from scratch. But she wants to, you know, be a political giant and, you know, and overtake this one.
So just wants it for the name.
Yes.
Not the struggle.
Not for the struggle. And she's in parliament today.
What?
She was coming from nowhere. She was just leading a cultural organization or religious organization, because some people we rob them from cultural and church and what brought them together, because we wanted to take over the campus from the rich kids. So
that's Malusi Gigaba's story is exactly the same.
You know, we wanted to take over this thing. So we brought this one, and when he got here, he says, you know what, leader, this is what I want to achieve. And we said, some of us are not in for that. We're not even thinking that far. We are dealing with the problems here. We are not seeing politics as a career. This person did law, went and worked for ENS or, work for ENS, left, went to work for the ANC and started doing all these things. She's in parliament. So
we're not in the struggle for the same reasons.
We are not in the struggle for the same reasons. There are those who are in the struggle. There is someone, is it Smart Ngonyama, the fellow that says, I didn't struggle to be poor. Yes. He was telling the truth. He was speaking on behalf of all of them. Who is poor amongst them now?
Can I play devil's advocate for a second and defend that statement? And maybe I'll see if my defense is successful.
Yeah.
No one is in the struggle to stay in the struggle.
Yeah.
They are in the struggle, so they win this battle that they are dealing with for the greater good.
Yes.
Including themselves.
Yeah.
Imagine if we fought for this house and then I'm the leader of that. We win this battle. After that, I give you the key and I walk off. Yeah. And I don't enjoy the spoils of this house. Yeah. Was he wrong to say that I didn't get into the struggle to be poor? Because indeed he didn't get into the struggle to stay in the struggle.
They were not in the struggle to self-enrichment.
But that's a different statement.
That's what I'm saying, to say what he was saying in a nutshell. He was defending unjust enrichment. Okay. He was defending corruption and present looting and corruption that they were involved in with his comrades. That is still continuing even today. It is an unjust enrichment where they used the struggle and the politics to enrich themselves and push the public into abject poverty, because that is what they are happening. The struggle is not benefiting the masses. You know, we are at a level now where a majority of the South African people are beginning to even question the democracy. They are questioning the democracy
because they don't see the fruits
because they don't see the fruit. It is not benefiting them. That is the system, and those are the failures of the liberation movement, where it failed to uplift its people from the pits. They still in the pits. It is the same failures of the constitution that is declared the best in the world, where the constitution has failed to close the gap between the whites and the blacks, between the poor and the rich, but it has continued to perpetuate the abject poverty and the dehumanizing level of unemployment in this country, because it is dehumanizing. But we as people are so obsessed with the theoretics and the academics and trying to define what is poverty and giving it a new different name of what is unemployment, but not really dealing with the issues. We bring stats. Currently there is a massive debate that was sparked by the
leader of
Capitec.
Yes, who said the CEO of Capitec.
Yes. We are busy obsessing about stats, about numbers, forgetting that behind the stats, behind every number, there is a person that is suffering, that forms the stats. True. Behind the numbers,
there's humans.
There are humans.
Yes, absolutely.
There's reality. They are not going down to the people to see the suffering. Go to Hammanskraal. Look at the issues that they are suffering there. The water crisis. The problems are many. The problems are multiplying every day. But we are obsessed with the theoretics, the academics. You know what I mean?
And real unemployment and not real unemployment. When we calculate it, it's all of that.
It doesn't change the unemployment of the masses of our people.
He said there's only 10% unemployment in the country. Did you read that article? He said it's only 10% of the unemployed in South Africa because we called wrong people unemployed. We call people who are running small businesses in the township that are selling amagwinya at the side of the road and so forth. He's saying we call them unemployed, but they are not. They are running small businesses. And he said some of them, actually not some of them, he said most of them make 10,000 rands a month.
He is defending criminals and drug lords. He's defending the people whom you have never seen waking up or doing anything, but they are banking every day. Because he's speaking about untraceable money. And we can't promote that. That is what has led to the country to be on its knees. Because income should be traced. We should know how our people are sustaining themselves. What are the modes of sustainability? Are they in farming? Are they in garments? Are they doing sewing? Are they doing saloons? We should be able to trace that. Otherwise, he is saying that as Capitec, they are aiding and abating criminality in this country, ensuring that drug lords and human traffickers are able to clean the money and bank it. He should have been arrested immediately when he says that, and we ask for the data, because we need to see the data of the people that he's speaking about and say who is Lerato. We go to Lerato. How do you bank 100,000 every week? What are you doing? He can assist Mkwanas.
Selling makwi.
This one can assist Mkwanas because there is a lot of illicit trade that is happening in this country that is actually collapsing the economy. So those are part of the things that are happening. The lifestyle audit that needs to happen to our comrades, especially those who went to exile. A lot of these people did go to exile. They were fighting a system at the time that was evil and cruel. Now they are the system.
They sacrificed
their youth.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did sacrifice.
Most didn't bury their parents and so forth.
But now they are the system. We are fighting against them. But they want to use the struggle credentials to silence the youth. We are still suffering the same way they suffered, and we are going through what they went through that led to them picking up arms and going to exile. Young people are unemployed. Young people don't own land. Young people are uneducated. They have no access to quality education. They have even collapsed the Bantu education that they got themselves. Your SATU has become a joke. Teachers have lost the stage of being teachers because I don't know what they see themselves, or they have forgotten what it means to be a teacher because you are a role model. They have become influencers. You have SATU members who are influencers using the poor children in the rural areas and township to create content. They are dancers on TikTok, the teachers.
Benzama challenge.
Then You ask yourself when the children start beating them, or when there are these problems where the children start sleeping with the teachers, because they see them as equals. We were scared of our teachers because we saw them even old. But when we look at them, some of them were student teachers, which means they were 20, men, or 21. But how they upholded themselves, we gave them the respect as if they were way, 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 way older than us. You know what I mean?
5 years older than you, but
yes,
you respected them.
It's how they uphold themselves. You look at the current generation of teachers who are now influencers. They have lost their respect. They have lost their dignity. That's why now you will find them tum. Not that we
Mine's so lamalanga.
I understand.
Ikisho pretend ngathi uyazi ungawari.
Let me try for you. Angithi sizazi lezi zinto yabona. Yabo angithi kufuna uye tavern kuzuzibona manje asihi kakhulu ama tavern yabona.
I want to go back to something that we kind of touched on and left for a little bit. The state of the politics of the country has its own dynamics. When we last spoke, you and I, which is almost more than a year ago, it was before the GNU.
Yeah.
It was before MK.
Yeah.
And both these elements have actually, one, changed everything. MK changed the dynamics of our politics in the country and led to what we're talking about as the GNU. Let's start on this very shortly. What is your take on the GNU, and do you think it'll survive its full term?
The GNU is a disaster. The GNU is also a proof that the liberation movement dropped the ball. You know, you don't have to look far for the ANC failures. For us to find ourselves in a situation where there is a GNU is a clear indication that the liberation movement has failed. Now, instead of us as a country today focusing on building our economy, we formed a GNU. That's why we are where we are now, where there is a power struggle. The DA is going, is coming, is fighting. They are contesting, but they are together in bed, but it is operating as an opposition. So there is a confusion around it. And also, that's what happens when people, it's a marriage of convenience. The reason why they are together is for the wrong reasons. It's not for the benefit of the country. They are together because they don't want the EFF. They are together because they don't want the MK. It has nothing to do with me and you. It has nothing to do with the people, in Tsanin. It has everything to do with that of hate and anger and bitterness. You know what I mean?
Enemy of my enemy.
It was formed for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
You see?
Enemy of my enemy is your enemy. What does that phrase say?
That's what happens now. So it's a marriage of convenience.
Yeah.
It won't last. It will never last because they are together. They hate each other.
But they are married.
You see?
Yeah.
Now, then that thing is bound to collapse because it is built on the wrong foundation. A false, narrative. They don't understand each other. They have policies that don't speak to each other. The DA has changed the ANC into nothing but to an object of amusement. The DA has made sure that it weakens the ANC's public image and standing into nothing but an object of amusement. And they've managed to win that. They have won that battle because they are going into the thing, they have a plan. By the way, the DA going into the GNU, they have a plan.
What do you think is the plan?
And their plan is 2020.
The next election is 29, yes.
The next elections is not now. Weaken these things. Make sure that it is no longer attractive to the black people anymore. Make sure that you change its colors. It's no longer a leopard. It's now a cat. So it has made sure because the ANC has found itself in the beginning defending DA policies. In the beginning, it found itself defending the marriage why they're in bed with the DA, which means it's going to be kept busy until 2029 defending this relationship. And that's what has been happening. Yeah. Every day the DA made sure that it also leaks the agreements between them and the ANC. It leaks them. Helen Zille always comes up to say, no, we agreed with these people on this and this and this. So that it says these people are not revolutionaries. The DA is trying to expose the ANC that it is not what the public perceive it to be. You know, it is exposing to say, no, these people are just hustlers, man. They are not in there for you. They are hustling. They will do anything for money. You know, the anything that has to do with resources, they will agree with it. So that's what the DA is always showing, and it is detrimental to them.
But are you saying it's that obvious to you? But why is it not obvious to the very ANC members who are agreeing with the DA? You're saying the DA is weakening the ANC.
It's protocol.
It looks obvious, but then why don't they see it?
There is this thing that is poisonous, that the system or institution use to control certain narrative, to control dissenting views, or to control accountability. So follow protocol. You know, you must follow processes of raising these things, so that they know that the structures where you are going to go to, you must go to your branch. The branches are not sitting. So you can't speak. They say you are ill-disciplined.
You're not representing the branch.
Yeah, go and speak in your branch. The branch is not calling meetings. The regions are not. When you go to the provincial or regional conferences, it's just for elections. It's not to engage on the dissect and deal with the issues on the ground. So they use this thing of protocol, and most of the people who raise these things are categorized. They are labeled as ill-disciplined. They are suspended. You will have this thing of Mbalula howling and insulting people, speaking like a stratmate. You understand? So then the ANC also has created a lot of followers of individuals. You have members of a member. They defend anything as long as is their handler. As long as this is my force, they defend. They defend not because they believe what they are saying, but because they have to do it. It then kills the entire narrative. You know, it kills the entire thing. You raise this, you'll be insulted. You raise this, you will be ridiculed.
But I'm still battling to understand, and help me understand and simplify it for me. If it's obvious that the DA is weakening the ANC, why isn't the ANC seeing that? If it's obvious.
Now,
what are they not seeing? Or are they happy with the status quo? Clearly not.
Now, remember what we said. We said that the ANC has created a bunch of hungry young people.
Okay.
The ANC has created a bunch of hungry youth that must sing and dance for destructive music.
Okay.
It has went beyond to now having members of a member who will defend anything. But defend akuzeklephuka amakhokho. Klephuka amakhokho kuqitheka igazi ngathi ngumvala.
But
ngamazi le defender eSundowns umvala. Defender kuze klephuka igazi.
Aphume negazi.
Iphela igame afaka ibandage. So you have
bangamkhiphi.
Abangamkhiphi. Udefender kuze klephuka amabhutsi. So you have those people, because them defending the indefensible is what put food on the table.
On their individual table.
Individual table. They are unemployed. People are unemployed. People are starving. And it is this elite that is holding the purse. And they are distributing these peanuts to keep you going. Yes. You must defend. When they insult you, they take screenshots and send to the bishop to say, no, I've insulted King David. And they are paid for it. They create WhatsApp groups to plan on attacking and insulting certain individuals. It has happened to some of us as well. where there were war rooms created of young people being called together, say, whatever he says, anything, you go for him. And we survived all that. Wow. And some of them will come and tell us to say, hey man, hey Mina, it was not personal, it was the old people. Some they come to you, say, you know, some say, I hated you for no apparent reason. I was lobbied into the hate. Now that I've met you and understand your thinking, you know, I'm telling you, we were paid for the attacks. It is happening today.
We're paid to hate you.
Yes, and insult.
Yes.
Not even listen to what you said, just insult. They don't listen to what you are saying. Once you appear, they go for you. They take screenshots. So that is what is happening. The ordinary members, they can see. The ordinary members of the ANC are not happy with the marriage with the DA. There is no real ANC member who is sound upstairs, nor unless they are in ecstasy. You know, if they are taking ecstasy because their comrades are the ones selling this thing, then you will defend this thing.
They're going to correct you in the comments, but it's ecstasy.
Yeah, we don't even know these things. Maybe they're into these things of mushrooms. They're eating mushrooms as well. So then you will then defend the indefensible. And quite a number of people have raised the issue of the DA marriage. But you will have the leadership defending it and labeling those ones who are questioning these things as MK members or RET, because it's now a new insult in the ANC to say you are an RET or you are a Guptas. When they want to silence you, they'll say you are a Gupta.
Yo.
You understand?
Yeah.
Then whatever you say, then now it's nullified. So the reality is that the ANC knows and sees that the agreement with the DA is taking them nowhere. It's actually reducing their lifespan. But because of the handlers mostly.
Who are the handlers?
Your Ruperts, your Oppenheimers, your De Beers, all the people, you know, who the Jewish mafia that is handling Cyril.
They're struggling though.
They're not.
The Jewish mafia is struggling. They couldn't control him when he and the government took the state of Israel to the what is that? The International Court of Justice.
No, we will come to that one because I still believe that at some point some of these things they will say no, because now there are questions of our relationship. Do this. We will allow you to do certain things, you know, because even today I still don't believe that it is really his decision to go that route. If you listen to him now, and then why haven't they then closed the embassy of Israel here and recall their people in what you call in Israel? We are still in bed, you know. We have a relationship, a working relationship, and bilaterals with Israel. So some of these things is just it's just an act.
But that act is costing South Africans a lot.
Because
if you listen to the current US narrative.
Because they never saw it. They never foresee it. And maybe they never saw it going this far. It was just, it's like asking a woman out joking, la suka qome mbamba. Hey, so what, hey, madoda. Hey,
girlfriend.
Yes, girlfriend kanona bothi uyadlala. Uthe awuthi ngisome lo muntu asuka kugane mbamba lo muntu. Uyabona? So all those people who just do these things of those who drink alcohol and go to the tavern and do mavuso and this thing gets pregnant. And then what are you going to do?
Yeah,
and then she refused to terminate. Now you have a child. Now you are in trouble.
So a South African government represented by the ANC in that regard, when they went through the International Court of Justice.
They were trying to look radical. And now they find themselves in a deep problem where they can't come out because the world, praised them.
Yeah.
They were given all these, accolades to say, no, you are a hero and all of this. They can't pull out anymore. They're in deep, this thing. The Mavuso woman is pregnant and the pregnancy now is 8 months or 7 months. You can't terminate. It's illegal.
Yeah.
The case has gone so far. And also remember,
okay, go ahead, finish
but
your
also
thought.
remember also, even within the Jewish community, they don't all agree on the position of Israel and Palestine.
Of course, even the very people who are in Israel
You
don't
understand?
agree. Yes.
So now it might happen that his funders are the ones who don't agree with that position. His funders. You see?
You're complicating it, but carry on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because because even here in South Africa, you have different factions of the Jewish community. You have the Johannesburg Jews. You have the Cape Town Jews. They don't have the same position. The Cape Town Jews support the DA. The Johannesburg Jews support the ANC. You have two factions that don't see eye to eye. That's how deep this thing is. Now, but it doesn't take away the fact that we are saying the handlers of the ANC, the people who are funding the ANC, also funds the DA. And these people then said, because the handlers at some point will try to merge you. Because it's funny, when you have two children, the other one is staying in Tabanchu, the other one is staying in Mzinti, there in Mpumalanga. At some point you say, no, my children must come together. At the end, you are my children because it's getting expensive distributing the resources. I must buy testing rights to go to Tabanchu, another one to Mzinti.
Yeah.
So that's what I think then happened. They had to merge. Because they have the same handlers, they have the same funders. Now that supersedes and nullifies the view of the branch. Because you have an ANC today that has no money. Okay. It is vulnerable.
Yes.
It is at its weakest. There's no resources. No business person wants to be associated with them anymore.
The stories of Patrice Motsepe.
If I was Patrice, if I was Patrice, also after what that loud hailer called the Squandrel Mbalula said about him, which was uncalled for, I will stop funding them and giving them anything. You can't insult a person unprovoked. A person that is ensuring that your head is above the water, is keeping you alive, is the person who assisted them when they couldn't pay salaries. Then you have this person, you have this loud mouth that goes and say, we are a person who has never worked anywhere in his lifetime. He has never even sold Ekla Pop. He has never sold Trebet. He has never done anything. Insulting a successful business person, a person who has worked for himself and doing great things for the country, in sports, in business and everywhere else. And tomorrow they must go and kneel and beg to the very same person. It's like wondla umuntu ukuthi akwethuke masesuthi. Uyadla masebesuthi bakuthuka. Asaqunjwe lokudla kwakho. Because Mbalula ukhuluma kanje is gaining the energy to insult from the funds and the funding of Patrice Motsepe. Uthi angadladle bese ubhodlela phezu kwakho. That's the problem.
I want to stay here but bring two things together. The current relations between South Africa and the US. There's what is it called? South African Bilateral Relations Review Act that now just got voted. Not into law yet, still as a journey. I don't think that journey is as long as a lot of people say it is for it to become law. That says some of the leaders of the ANC will be sanctioned.
Yes.
What do you say to that possibility? The reviews are saying it's likely to have a much greater impact on the country as a whole, not necessarily on individuals.
Well, the issue here is on the ANC's foreign policy position. Where does the ANC stands? Because, like, when I say the ANC, I mean the country, our foreign policy.
Okay. BRICS and
We
our
have
relations
BRICS,
with others and
we
so
have a
forth.
relationship with Russia, with Brazil, and with China.
And the
also-
US.
And the US.
Yes.
Now, that's where it really emanates. But at the same time, I think the debate is broader than that. It speaks to the double standards, for me, of the US and the bullying tactics. Because the US now is at a position where it is also at its weakest. It is like a last kick of a dying horse. So,
But it's a strong kick.
it's a strong kick that can change anything and which can also resuscitate the horse itself.
Absolutely.
You see, so that's where they are. They are fighting for their own survival. They are fighting to restore the influence and hegemony that they used to enjoy, that they are beginning to lose it. The US is used to be a superpower, enjoyed that for long. But the dynamics have changed drastically over the years.
That's true.
You have China now in the space. You have Russia. You have a lot of things that had really changed in the geopolitics. And the US is really trying to revive and regain energy. So they are using now, they have went to resort to using tactics that we have never known the US for. Because we have known them to always use diplomacy to force their way.
Or guns.
Or guns.
Absolutely.
But they would work back then. Remember, their economy relies on war.
Of course.
They have to instigate the war to make. But now, they no longer even try to lie and paint you bad. They are just present in using force, in using blackmail, in using whatever that they have to use.
In putting criminals in Swaziland.
In Swaziland.
Bullying Swaziland.
Yeah, you see. So, but what I am saying now is that the issue here is that because South Africa, what the US is accusing South Africa of is what they're also doing. The biggest trader of the US is China.
Of course.
It is their biggest trading partner, which is China, the US.
And they owe China lots of trillions.
You understand?
Yes.
Trump himself speak highly of Putin, and Russia and all of those things. Now, same as the South Africa, he is in trade with China, he's also in business with Russia. So that's why I'm saying there are double standards there, but they go beyond that. It is the issue, perhaps, of the dollarization. Now, South Africa is not being dealt with for what we are saying. They are being dealt with and being used as an example to instill fear in the entire continent. They are blackshaming South Africa for other African countries to see and see if you do this is what is going to happen to you. So it has nothing to do with all of these things. You can see the lies of the genocide. That deep down, even a small child knows there's no genocide here. And even when Trump had said no to these people, they must move, none of these people moved to the US.
No.
They only
Those who went.
it was car guards and other poor, those poors from Brakpan, those who are poor, they saw an opportunity they are slaves now there in New Jersey. They are plowing cotton. So they want to come back.
Yeah.
So, but it showed that indeed the genocide was not there. But because there is a narrative that was being pushed to say they are going to use South Africa as an example and a benchmark, and to say, how are they going to do to the other African countries, because they could already see in the French-speaking African countries the shift, how France is being pushed out. They are losing control in Africa, these people, the Africa in the world is moving towards the China and Russia, side. But now, what other argument I wanted to use?
I'll edit this. Think about, get your thoughts right.
So
Don't worry.
I wanted to say, now also targeting South Africa in the BRICS partners,
exactly,
being the weakest of them,
of the BRICS partners.
Yes. So they target South Africa to stabilize the BRICS bloc because they can't target China.
Maybe it's the global south.
You see, the global south.
Yeah.
They can't target China, will blacksem them. They can't go to Russia. They can't touch Brazil. We being the weakest in the bloc, then they have to target us to weaken the BRICS currency.
Or to unsettle
the
relations.
Yes, to unsettle the relations in the BRICS because of to delay the talks of the BRICS currency and the dollarization of of the BRICS countries.
Do you think it's a tactic that's likely to work? I can tell you this much: it's likely to work by threatening us.
Yes.
We are going to feel the pinch.
Yes,
but will the other partners of BRICS feel the pinch or even react at all? One, react by saying to the US, you can't do that to one of us.
Yeah.
Or react by saying, let us defend South Africa in some small way. How is it likely to play out looking at where we are now? We are facing tariffs. We are facing potential sanctions against the members of the ANC if it goes through. How is it likely to play out? Because as you put it, it's a much bigger story than just one tiny country at the bottom of Africa.
The big question maybe would be to say, would these things go beyond Trump's tenure?
But can we survive?
Because now we need to survive.
Because it's another 3 years. 3 years, 3.5 years to go.
That's true. The question is like we are raising: can we survive the Trump tenure, and whether it will continue beyond the Trump tenure? Now, also, but the issue that I would want to believe that, where China is now is not ready for war. It's not ready. They don't want to, not that they are not ready. They don't want to go to war.
It's not the type of country that goes to war anyway.
But the US would like to push them into war to destabilize and delay their economic growth.
Yeah.
But the Chinese are so strategic and, they are restraining themselves into going into any form of confrontation. They don't want to do that. Now, I wouldn't say that these people, the Russia and China, would come to our aid in anything. They've aided who? They've failed to aid the Palestinians. They've never took any position against the US. They are the only two people who can end the genocide in Gaza by taking the US on. But they are refusing to do that. They don't want to do that. They haven't taken a firm stance and defended that thing. They failed to even take a firm stance on the Iran when it was bombed and retaliating. So we are not special that they will come to our aid for anything.
If they couldn't do that to
they are also exploiting
right
us. We are also being exploited in the BRICS bloc. Like, what is it that we are really benefiting there, if there is any? What is it that we are exporting instead of importing? What is it that these people are buying from us instead of dumping? Because now
there's minerals that we send to China and Russia.
No, but the biggest. But also remember now that we don't own the minerals as a country.
That's true.
Our government owns nothing. Companies, business people own these things. So it's a trade between companies and companies, not country and country.
Yeah.
Unlike your unlike
Botswana's diamonds.
Yeah.
Simple example.
But for instance,
it's a country saying, wait a minute.
Yeah. But unlike your Russia, where their system, it's a country, it's a government capitalism that controls the thing. It's the government running the industries and the economy, not individual companies. Even if it's individual companies, they are formed by the government.
True.
They are controlled by the government somehow. So it's a capitalism that is government ran. You know, whether it's the Communist Manifesto of China and all of those things. Yeah, it's DPS that is not accountable to government. You have Anglo-Ashanti that is not accountable to government. You have your KPMG that is not accountable to government. Your Investec that is not accountable to government. Your standard banks and all of these banks. Government has no say to what these banks are doing. And they don't own these banks.
So you're saying
government
the
doesn't
minerals,
own a bank.
You're saying the minerals that the coal that we send to power electric stations or plants in the UK and other countries. In Israel.
Yes.
is not truly benefiting the people of South Africa.
No, we don't. Because individual companies own these things. It's private property. So it's company to company trade, not country to country trade. The country has no control over these trades. So what the country does is just to facilitate and open the trading agreements between these countries that we can sell to each other. But what are the countries selling? That's why now it always comes up when our people begin to question that there's a lot of illegal foreigners here, and then they try to say people must go back. You will hear that, no, we will shut down MTN. The Nigerians always say, no, MTN must shut down, or Woolworths must shut down. Government doesn't own Woolworths.
Doesn't own MTN.
Government doesn't own MTN.
Yeah.
But you have the people here who are suffering, being held by deals that has nothing to do with the country.
How you brought us here? But the last guest I had in the studio, the two ladies of Dudulla, and it was a candid conversation. Candid conversation. My stance was very clear in trying to understand at the heart of what they do, what are they trying to achieve? I've been criticized, but it's neither here nor there. I'm curious to understand from your perspective, how has South Africa been able to let our borders be so porous and continue not to be able to solve this problem?
The issue of immigration, it's a world pandemic. It's not a South African problem. Today you see the US itself is evicting people.
Yes.
It's deporting people. It's fighting for its own survival. It's been infiltrated. You go to Britain, in London. They were removing people in hotels and buildings because you today you have the British government issuing passing as a new bill that they are saying that they will target individuals who are involved in this immigration because it is a big industry. The issue of illegal immigrants in the world is like the drug cartel.
Yeah.
It's a big industry. People are paid to bring the foreigners here. It's business. The same way people are paying for the route of illegal cigarettes. The same way people are paying for the route for drugs and what.
Human trafficking.
They are paying for human trafficking and for bringing, because there are countries involved in this thing.
Okay.
Britain is accusing France for pushing illegal immigrants and funding them to go that side, giving them boats to cross. Now, we are here in South Africa. Now we are bringing it back home. You have this issue that has been happening for years. And it's just that now it has gotten out of hand. But it is a syndicate. It is a syndicate that these people are not asylum seekers.
course not.
None of the foreigners who are here are asylum seekers. None of them. None of these countries are in war. There's no war in Nigeria. There's no war.
In Zimbabwe.
There's no war in Zimbabwe. There's no war in Malawi and Kenya and anywhere else. In Pakistan, in Ethiopia. But they are here in numbers. And look at them, how they arrive here. To prove that it's a syndicate. It's a cartel. It's organized crime. They are found, there are stories where they are found in Alexandra locked, kept in locked. It's human trafficking.
There are stories of them
in Sentin.
In Sentin, there's stories of them learning how to use guns.
You know what I mean?
In some farm in Mpumalanga.
Yeah, 90 of them there.
Exactly.
The Libyans.
Or found in an aeroplane that's delivered 100 of them all at once.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm saying to you, it's a cartel, it's a syndicate. It must be treated as such. It's not innocent asylum seekers. Now, these people, they are now finding themselves here. Most of them never chose to be here, especially in the Spasa shops. That's where the real problem is. They are forced to come here, kept somewhere, and then sold as slaves to certain people because there's a mafia and criminal syndicate bosses in the Spasa business.
Yo.
Then they own them. Some of them even have chains, the thing of prison. That they have the ankles there, they keep it where you are,
so they
where are
can
you going.
track you.
They are tracked. These people know how many Somalians are here and where they are.
Wow.
They know them. They are accountable to someone. They are bosses. It's a criminal syndicate that needs to be dismantled and it must be treated as such. It is not innocent. They are not asylum seekers. You see how they have infiltrated and penetrated not just the township but even rural areas, remote rural areas where you can't even reach, where even ballot box don't reach. They are there. In the deep rural areas.
And you find them speaking Sesotho.
Yes, because there is a well-orchestrated plan. I even suspect the US for funding the infiltration of South Africa with the foreign criminal.
To what end?
To an end that, remember the US and the West want no African country to be stable but them. That's how they loot the minerals. You must be ungovernable. You must be kept busy with useless things while they exploit. We are not able, the language, let me tell you, these things are not by mistake. We have stopped speaking about land. We are talking about our existence. Now,
this week we were talking about Kenny Kunene, but carry on.
You understand?
It's a distraction.
So it's a distraction. Keep the Bantu busy fighting for their survival. Our people, our parents were fighting apartheid. Our generation now is fighting illegal immigrants. We are having started fighting for the real issues, which is the economic emancipation, the land, the minerals, and all the important things. Because we are in constant struggle for survival. They are pumping. Why I am saying, the examples are not going far. They are sending now dangerous criminals to Swaziland, which is next door. Now, I am saying all these people who are being sent here, it might be a CIA, a program. Flood South Africa with the Pakistanis, the Somalians, and the Ethiopians. Take away the market. Do you know how dangerous the township is?
Very well.
But they are there. How did they penetrate the space? Yeah? Do you know how dangerous the hood is?
It's not easy to establish yourself.
But how did the foreigners, the Pakistanis and the Ethiopians penetrate the hood when the apartheid government couldn't? How? That's what needs to be studied. It's not by mistake. You have all these NGOs, your Helen Suzman, you count them who are defending these things. Then you must know that this is a funded project. It's not innocent. It is defended, it is funded because it need to keep the black people busy, keep the Bantu busy, the indigenous South African busy, so that they begin to question the democracy. Like we are doing now. Our people are questioning the democracy. Our people are not into business, because you have taken the economy, the Spasa economy, the informal trading is a multi-billion industry that is untaxed. That is money that should have been with our people. But once the indigenous South African, the original South African citizens have the economic power, the narrative, the language will shift. We begin to want more. We'll begin to want something else. So the system then says, rather be a foreigner that has the money, so that when they start making noise, we'll deport them. We'll always remind them, you are not South African. We will kick you out tomorrow. They will kick you out tomorrow. If any Nigerian will start to speak politics, we'll be gone tomorrow. Will be labeled a drug, and everything that is doing will be exposed, and they go home. A Chinese was arrested by Interpol sometime this week, who has been here for years doing crime. They knew him. That's what I was saying. There's nothing that is happening here that the system doesn't know about it. But they turn a blind eye on it because we haven't started speaking politics. They will come for you the day you start speaking politics and challenging white supremacy, white privilege, and white fragility. They come for you. But as long as you defend, or you are not a threat to the white interest, they will even protect you with Human Rights Commission, Helen Suzman, section what. Those things, if we want to fix this country, we must start with these NGOs and question, where is their allegiance? Where are they paying allegiance to? Where is their funding coming? Then you will begin to trace the rot and the damage that is happening in the country, to trace it back to the US. All the instability in the world. I read somewhere where they are saying, whether it's Nelson Mandela who said it or who, he says, wherever there are brothers fighting, we must know that the US visited the other one. Now, that's why we are where we are. You look at Marikana, when it happened. It is the same thing that is happening in Congo today.
Sure.
They are killing each other for the minerals. You have here in this country today, where you are told that a container with explosives was lost in the Durban harbor. A container with guns during the uprising, the unrest, where were looted those guns. Where are those guns? Why were they looted? What are they doing? You will be told that an army barracks was robbed. An army barracks robbed. Guns taken, weapons of mass destruction stolen in an army barracks. You will hear that police stations are robbed, and police, have been robbed their guns and what. No. What is this all about? They will give guns to the other so that we fight amongst each other, because the instability in Africa or anywhere works for the US that don't want to pay tax, don't want to be accountable for anything, don't want to be questioned for anything, but continue extracting the minerals, because it's also a power thing. You must be kept there fighting, ethnic cleansing, not that you become a superpower as well and begin to contest them. You see where China is. You see where they can't afford to have
another China.
To have another China or another superpower in Africa. That's why you have today an army barracks in a US army barracks in Botswana.
In Botswana. The current president is questioning it though, but
I strongly believe that the influx of the illegal immigrants, in as much as, yes, there is an issue of, porous borders, non-existent borders, by the way.
Yes.
Because the truth of the matter, to be honest with you, is that you look at how far Nigeria is to South Africa. And how long it took them to come here but skipped all the countries next to them. It's not Swaziland coming here.
Or
It's
Lesotho.
not Lesotho coming here. Because even if it was Swaziland, the Swazi population is less than 1 million.
Yeah, less than
South
Soweto.
Africa can consume it.
It's less than
anytime.
Soweto.
But I was reading somewhere where they were saying that the estimation of the illegal immigrants here is over 15 million. It's over 15 million. That's why all the institutions then, because they were not meant to cater for such, they are collapsing or struggling to cater for these things. But what I am saying is that it is not by mistake. Our people or the system is not overlooking the borders, this thing, by choice. It's intentional to overlook, turn a blind eye so that this thing comes. The DA wants cheap labor. The DA in the farms, they want to continue exploiting cheap labor like they used to exploit during apartheid, where our parents were working for nothing. So it can only be the foreigners that they exploit. Because they don't have rights, they're not protected, they are illegal.
Threaten to kick them out anytime.
You understand? They can even shoot and kill them. No one will be looking for them. But you disappear today, we know where you in which farm you were working. So that's the sad reality. So they need this thing. They want the influx. And also it works for them to continue maintaining their businesses and their trades, because once you have a financially liberated South African economically, you begin to threaten their own existence. So it would rather be an illegal person. They support it, they defend it, they are using the human rights, they are using all these NGOs to defend these things. It has never been done. So I believe that what Operation Dudulla is doing, they represent the ordinary South Africans.
That's true.
Who are suffering, who are exposed to the reality, that the danger and the damage that is caused by the influx, and competing, because the illegal immigrants are not competing with Motsepe. The illegal immigrants are not competing with the CEOs. They are not competing with us because we have entered the working class.
The middle class.
The middle class bracket.
Yeah.
They are not competing with us. They are competing with the poor of the poorest of our people who are at the bottom of the strata. They are competing with those people. And that's why they are standing up. They are competing with those who go to the public hospitals. They are not in Medicare and Mediclinic, So they are competing with the poor of the poorest of our people who rely on the government services. And they are no longer benefiting from them. Our people are not You have 8 million people who are being taxed. I form part of the 8 million who's heavily taxed.
Yeah.
And you have 28 million people who are unemployed, who rely on the 8 million who's being taxed. Then you have 20 more million of illegal immigrants that also rely on the 8 million that is being taxed. It can't be.
Yeah.
The state is going to collapse.
But an obvious question is, why is it that, and you said it, turn a blind eye. Why are we turning a blind eye yet the system is collapsing and we can all see it? Why is it that, and I'm saying us as people, as government, if Motsoaledi, when he was Minister of Home Affairs, was able to form a unit within government whose job is to look after these borders, but nothing seems to be changing. Why is that? Now we're talking porous borders. We're not talking the story of Palestinians and who are brought here by cartels. Yeah. We're talking about just a guy who lives in Zimbabwe, whose family is hungry, and knows that if I jump the border and go to Beitbridge, there's an opportunity that I might get something.
No, they don't jump the bridge. They have
they
to
walk
pay.
Through. Oh, pay through. Some of them walk through or go through.
Because it's a business.
Yes.
It's a lucrative business
An illegal business.
An illegal business.
Yes.
It's a syndicate. There are people who are in business in bringing foreigners here. And
those people are South Africans.
They pay for it.
They are South Africans.
Yeah, they pay their way to here. It is the same thing with the shacks and the land grabs. They are cartels. There are people who are now responsible for grabbing the land because they sell it. People who build shacks, they will tell you, I bought that plot for 5,000, for 2,000. So it's no longer genuine. It's not innocent that it's people who want land. It's corrupt members, people who are in politics, who are just present in crime and doing all sorts of things. So, but coming back into the why they're turning the blind eye is the system. It is the system that is benefiting from this influx because it hasn't become a threat to the system, but it is almost becoming a threat to the system once you hear Rupert speaking about it, that the issue is crime and the issue is illegal immigration because it is now becoming a threat to them. These foreigners are becoming to kill the white people and raping the white people and making making it difficult to make clean business. They are hijacking the trucks. They are doing all sorts of things. So they are starting to speak about
as
it.
Cheap as they are now becoming a problem to their
because
masters.
they are many.
Yeah,
they've went beyond what they needed.
They're out of control.
Yeah, they've exceeded the demand, what the demands need.
Yeah.
So those that they can utilize in the farms and what are now lying eagle and becoming criminals.
When you look at the future of Dudulla, who has now become a political party, and the narrative of immigration and fighting for immigration by political parties yields a fair amount of success.
Yeah,
the US president
used it.
Absolutely. Apolitical used it.
Yes.
And Dudulla is going to use it. And I can tell you they're going to do well.
Yeah.
If they use it and continue to do it. And clearly this is something that we all see. Yeah. Now let's go back and bring ANC to the story. They know this thing can
They're
work.
using it now.
They know can work for other political parties. But they are complacent or turn a blind eye. Or maybe, as you're saying, they're using it now. Tell me what you think.
You see, the issue of I hope that and believe that Dudulla is genuine
100%
in this cause.
I truly believe the same.
It is it's a problem.
Yeah.
And it's a problem that we can't ignore. And
we've ignored it for too long.
Yeah.
Yes.
And where you are being silenced because you will be called xenophobic, you will be called all sorts of things. But this is a serious problem that can't be ignored. You look at the hijacked buildings. You look at the CBDs that have collapsed. You look at the filth. Because it is filthy, because it is overpopulated. That's why it is getting filthy. You look at the people who are sleeping on the streets and peeing and doing all sorts of things. Shacks mushrooming everywhere. You know what I mean? But it's a serious problem where it is devaluing the country itself. You look at the city of Johannesburg. In the next few years, it will lose the status of being a metro. It will lose.
3 years is too long.
You know, because it is almost there.
Yeah.
But I am saying that I hope that they are genuinely fighting this thing because they are in it. They believe in it. Not as a ticket to parliament or as a ticket to elitism as well. Because they would have really sold the trust, you know, that our people are giving them, you know. But that is what our politics in South Africa has become today, where people use genuine issues to propel themselves, you know, to elevate themselves elsewhere. But in all honesty, what is happening in this country is not supposed to be happening. We need community-based activism. We need the civic organizations that are driven by the current problems on the ground. Because the problems might be the same, but they are different depending on where you are coming from. Others are struggling with water problems.
Actually,
Others are
Most
You see,
of South Africa is struggling with water today.
you go to the Eastern Cape now, you have the extortion mafias, which are even extorting schools, churches, homes. You have to pay protection fee. You have young people who are being raped and being banned. You have the scourge of murder in this country that we no longer know where it is coming from. Like brutal, gruesome murders. You disappear, you found dead. You're like, what is going on? What have we became? What happened to the moral ground? You know, we don't know what we are anymore. It's so scary. You know, you don't even know who can speak to our people. Who should be speaking to our people? And how should you be speaking to our people? So because we are encountering, we're in a war zone where we are fighting amongst ourselves, but we are struggling to solve the problems and attack the problems because there's this distraction. When we have to be dealing with the issue of women and children being killed and men dying, there's the real issue of the Spasas, where young people, children are dying, eating poison and all of those type of things. That's where now you need government. Why is government not forming and forget about this thing of Stella Ndabeni? It's one of the most useless people that I don't even know what he's doing. What is the small trade and enterprise? What are they doing? Because I am saying, you look at how these foreign nationals are able to run these Spasa shops. It is centralized, the distribution. They all have warehouses where they all fetch. You know, depending on who's your boss and what they know, this faction takes there because now they have their own leaders, gangsterism in this thing. But you then need maybe to have a government distribution once we have taken over this thing, where we now know where it can even have, you can have your Checkers or your ShopRite where they can produce maybe a cheaper brand that they can go there because you can't sell. You know, that's how the Spasas thrive because the prices are
lower.
But now we have to find a way where you can have a warehouse that will produce affordable and cheap goods that can be taken there, but it's centralized. It can even be government-owned enterprise. A government-owned enterprise that produce these things.
Government-owned macro.
Yes, that will then distribute to these things because we have to reclaim that market. We like it or not, it needs to be reclaimed and taken to our people. We need to motivate and encourage our people to say, how do we allow for South Africans to be fed by Ethiopians?
Pause. And let me ask. We, and I like that you use the we, and it's a big we, because ugogo Ekasi is renting out to this Ethiopian. So she is part of the we.
Yeah.
It's not just government that's enabling it.
Yeah.
I blame government strongly for letting it be as bad as it has become.
Yeah.
I blame government strongly, which is what I said even to Dudulla, that shouldn't part of the energy that you're exerting towards this problem be to help with the borders themselves, for example, with the policing of airports, because people come through airports and people from Nigeria don't drive here.
Now, you see, it takes us back to what we were saying. The incompetence and inadequacies and the failures of the ANC over the years, where they have made our people not to be able to take care of themselves. Our people can't self-sustain. They found these people feeding and surviving. There was the self-determination. Poor as they were working the land. You have gardens. They were doing all those. They were using mbereko wa matsoho. They were washing clothes. They were surviving. But you have now the majority of the unemployed people not working, not even doing the odd jobs. We have the skills. In the township, our sisters there they have the skill to braid hairs, make styles, what. They're no longer utilizing.
It's no longer a South African market.
The market, we lost the salon thing.
Completely.
Not that people can't do it.
Yeah.
They can do it, but they've given it up. They don't want to do
to other nations.
They don't want to do it because they no longer see it as fashionable. You understand? When this tendering system came, it collapsed all other means of making money because it was a quick way of being rich and began to look down upon people who were helpers, kitchen, the maids, those who work in the gardens, the groundsmen. That industry began to be looked down upon. And that is the space that we were raised. That's the money that built families during apartheid.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm saying now, these Magogos, they have the grandchildren who are unemployed, who are on drugs, that they must take care of them. They are forced by circumstance to rent out and build this thing and rent this thing to the foreigners because there's nothing. So we created this problem. We created a problem where you have the South Africans vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation of illegal foreigners because now you have the foreigners having money than the locals. Yes. You have the foreigners now, they can spit on the face of the locals because they have money. They have what the locals don't have. They can now even employ the locals.
Absolutely.
And expose instead of the locals employing the foreigners.
No.
It is now a vice versa.
I've seen guys, they run a business of tarring, tar roads. And this is a foreign national. He's from Malawi. And he runs this business. The people who work for him are from Alex, Amachita. And these are guys who are locals. They're from South Africa, born and bred here. And hey, man, they're just happy to have a job.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a complicated thing. This guy is giving us bread.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
So we have the system and the government of the ANC they've turned South Africans into a joke, man. Nobody takes us serious anywhere, in the world, anywhere else. Because we are in a space where we own nothing. From apartheid to illegal foreigners. So we are just, you can't say anything you have made a joke about. What do you have? What do you own? In.
There's a guy who sent a post on the Dudulla interview, who sent a comment. I to do whatever you want to do.
We're not going anywhere.
I live in Midrand. I hire South Africans.
You see?
And I'm not going anywhere.
That's the point. That's the collapse. And those are the failures of the system, where you fail to restore the dignity of the South Africans.
Yeah.
Because as government, as leaders of society, because you are being voted in office by the South Africans, not the foreigners. The people who are paying tax is the South Africans. Then South Africans must come first. There is no confusion about that.
No.
It's South African first and the rest. Now, you have to restore the dignity of the South Africans. How do you restore the dignity? By them being able to feed themselves, by them being able to put food on the table. Because you have these illegal immigrants who will do anything for money. That's why they are dangerous.
100%.
That's why they are dangerous. Because they will do anything for money. They can kill. They can sell drugs. They can kidnap. They can extort. They can do anything. They can also do clean job. They can wash clothes.
And half the price.
And half the price.
Of a normal South African that would want, what is that, wage?
Minimum wage.
Aha.
So I'm saying then they become a problem because they are more dangerous because they can do anything for money. Now, we failed the people. The ANC failed the South Africans. And it will go down in history as being worse than apartheid. You fail to restore the dignity of your own and uplift them. Instead, you push them down into the periphery. You hear today that in Polokwane municipality, the municipality manager, the boyfriend is Zimbabwean. The mayor is boyfriend is a Zimbabwean. You give the boyfriend a tender.
Yeah.
But the issue is that there's not. Remember, the Zimbabwean guy has done nothing wrong, like no argument. But it is our people that choose them over us, because you can manipulate them. You are able to make them to pay the bribe that you will refuse to pay. So they will always opt for someone who knows that they don't deserve these things because they can be manipulated. You go into the universities here, all the head of departments, the people who are leading the universities are people from outside. Why? Because someone doesn't know, they are protecting their own position so that this one can be reminded that you are a foreigner, you can't be a vice chancellor. So, but if I bring you now as a professor, you will be threatening this thing. So we are the problem. We created the space for the illegal immigrants to strive. And remember that the problems, it's not immigrants, it's illegal immigrants.
Yes.
So the people must not be confused about this thing. It's not immigrants. Immigrants are everywhere. South Africans are working in England. Some. I also have a niece who went to study in the University of Manchester, do his postgraduate there, and then now a master's. And then they employed her.
Yes.
She's now working there as a working permit. She didn't come back because she had a degree in architecture and property. So now she's there. You know. So I am saying, but she's legal there. She's accounted for. She's known by the system that she's there. The people are unknown who are here. They are. It's a problem. You don't even know exactly how many they are. How then do you prepare the fiscus and planning in terms of the security and planning in terms of the health and all of those things? So it's a genuine problem. We need to deal with it decisively because one, these people are coming from difficult war zones, child soldiers. They are not scared of spilling blood and all of this gruesome crime that we are not used to. That's why there is a shift and a change of the crime that we are beginning to see in our country. It is as the influx of other, if you bring birds, they are all birds, but different birds from different regions. They start bringing diseases of birds that we have never been exposed to. You start to encounter things that you don't know. The crime is shifting. The brutality is shifting. Also the superstitions, the beliefs. Some tribes believe that you kill a person, you'll be rich. Some believe that when you kill an albino, you'll be rich.
Of course.
We've never believed in it in South Africa.
Not at all.
In South Africa, we've never had a problem of albinos being threatened. A threatened species. But in other countries, they even have where they have to be taken to be protected. We are getting there. We are now getting in where the superstition, children are killed, eyes are taken, tongues, private parts. We are seeing all of these things happening here. Why are these things happening? They've never happened. It is the association, the mixed cultures, and the exchange of these values and all of these things. So we are getting where we are going to begin not to know what South Africa is, because that's what the US is trying to do, turn South Africa into some US, African states of whatever, so that no one can claim South Africa. Because all of this thing, the influx, the funded influx of dangerous foreigners is to make sure that one day no one can claim South Africa. You listen to AfriForum, where how they've distorting the history of South. I read somewhere where the Afrikaners were saying when they came here, they found no one. I'm telling you.
No, it's, yeah.
You've seen it.
I've hosted the leader of AfriForum.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is a notion and a belief that
There was
the
no one.
land was empty.
Exactly.
Yes.
But the narrative will keep on being killed, where in not long from now, you will be told that you must start recognizing Chinese, Mandarin, as a South African language. You will be told...
And Shona. And
you understand? That's why we
Chichewa.
were going.
Yes.
You will be told now you must acknowledge Shona as a South African language. Acknowledge... I don't know what
It's
Nigerians
Chichewa.
speak. I don't know.
What is it? I forgot what they call it.
Yeah, their language.
Yeah.
So it means you
Ibu or
yes,
something.
it means you are adding the tribes because they are becoming a society. You know, do you know that the Somalians are becoming the fast growing non-South African tribe? Every Sunday, 200 of them are getting married to South Africans in Pretoria.
What?
There is a guest house there in Pretoria where the Somalians every Sunday they are getting married to South African women.
You have to acknowledge that South African women are part of the problem in that example.
Now, even in war, when there is a war, the other country targets the women of that other country. They rape them and change. They kill the men, take the women, rape them, and change the nationality of that country. Women have always been used as a weapon. They are always used as a weapon. Even the Boers, when they arrived here, they raped our women. Even in America, when the black people were being taken as slaves they in the plantation, they raped the women and changed them. That's how you kill a nation. That's how you dilute. If you want to kill the Pedi people, take their women. And the children start speaking Swati. You have killed Pedi. That's why in the Jewish culture, the women are the most valuable people. They are the most protected people because the Jewish nationality is not transferred through the father. It is transferred through the mother. For you to be a Jew, your mother must be a Jew, not your father.
Wow. It's the opposite for us.
Yes. That is why it is very difficult for you to date a Jewish woman. Aye. They might even, the extremists, they might even kill the woman.
Yeah.
Right? Because you are diluting. You go everywhere in the world, in Argentina, they are skeptical about the dilution. You go to Russia itself. They don't want their women getting pregnant from outside people. They understand the importance of this thing. But when it comes here, we are told that it doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter? What do you mean? It matters as language matters. This thing matters as much as language, because for me, for my things to open, I must pray in my language and speak in a way into existence about the trees, the valleys, things that matter. Because the things must make sense into my spiritual realm. That's why even when you listen to a song, there are certain songs that can be too spiritual, but if you don't hear, it won't make sense to you. But there is a song that you can listen to in your language and makes you cry. A song, right? Because it makes sense to you. It takes you to elsewhere. But I am bringing this issue to say, women in any revolution or colonialism or war, they are always vulnerable. They are the target of anything. Right? I can tell you now that what is happening here in South Africa is colonization. We are being colonized by other African countries. It's a colonization, and it must be seen as such. We as South Africa are being colonized by other African countries. And if you have 5 million, 10 million Nigerians, in the next 10 years, when they come here, they don't bring women. The Ethiopians, when they come here, they don't bring women. The Pakistanis, the Somalians, the Nigerians, none of them bring women here. The children that will be born here in the next 10 years will be not Pedi, they won't be Venda, they won't be Basotho or Tonga or Swati or Zulu. There'll be something else. We have colonized the country. We have turned it upside down. It is no one can now takes us back. No one can now lay claim
of the country.
That's the plan.
I want to ask, and it's the same question I asked to the Dudulla ladies.
Okay.
I said to them, Africa as a bloc also needs to be powerful enough to trade as a powerhouse.
Yes.
The same way the Europeans are able to do that.
Yeah.
And the same way America can go out there as a big country with a lot of resources.
Yeah.
There's value in Africa being a united economic force.
Precisely.
But we've been talking about, illegal immigration and so forth and so forth and so forth, whether we like it or not, pulls in an opposite direction.
Yeah.
From that what could be a very positive thing in years to come, where Africa is trading with itself, where cars that are manufactured at Gqeberha or Utenake, they go to Botswana and Lesotho and so forth and so forth.
Yeah.
Not as stolen cars, but as cars that are actually being bought.
Yes.
So then what do we do to overcome that or to encourage the unity of Africa? The ladies at Dudulla said something rather interesting and important. Why should we unite here? That's their point. Yeah. Why are we uniting in South Africa? Why can't we unite in Malawi?
Of course. Which I also, that's the question I was about to ask you. Now, it can't be unity when it is in South Africa.
True.
Now, but you brought something, let's start it from Europe. It is important. The unity amongst blacks is not good for the survival of the Europe. In the West.
100%.
Now, the freedom, the real freedom and democracy of Africa is not good for the US and the West. It will never be supported. There's instability in Africa is funded by the West because they depend, their entire existence depends on Africa. They own nothing.
True.
Europe owns nothing. Everything that makes them, they take it here. But they want to take it to equivalent to nothing. Right? Now when Greece, I want to believe that is the poor of the poorest in Europe. And the one of the countries that suffers from maladministration, like the Val. Here in the Val is the West, the Bukeng, the thing is the West. There's no municipality worse than that.
There's another one in the Free State where they have 150 million rands budget.
Yeah.
And all that budget
goes to salaries.
Yeah.
And they can't account to what they are doing.
With that
them as employees, what do you do? You see, and then now you have Greece in Europe as a country.
Yeah.
Is the West country that suffers in maladministration. It has collapsed numerous times. And what was Europe doing? They were bailing it out.
Of course.
And placed it in under administration. After bailing it out, I think 2-3 times, but they went there and tried to keep Greece, working. Governable. Because why? They can't have a failed state in Europe.
You can't have a poor cousin.
In Europe.
Yeah.
They were also, what? Protecting the immigration.
Of course.
These people must be taken care of there. Make sure that it's working there so that they can remain there. Right? So then they are able then to trade amongst themselves.
Yes.
Because all of these countries are working. All of these countries can sustain themselves. There is no Italian that wants to be an illegal immigrant in England. There is no British citizen that wants to be an illegal immigrant in France.
Or in South Africa.
You understand? No, but within Europe.
Yes.
Because all of these people, they have the pride, they have their dignities, they carry it, they have it. So they can't allow that.
Got you.
That's why they can open the borders. They can, freely move. You will go back home.
Yes.
But you can't do it here. Because other countries have collapsed. Now, these people who come to South Africa from other countries, they are running away from their countries because they did to their countries what they are doing in South Africa is what they did to their countries for them to collapse. It is the crime. It is the lawlessness. It is them hijacking buildings. It is them selling drugs and doing all of these things. Up until those countries collapsed. They collapsed the state machinery. They collapsed the trust between the people and the state, where the police couldn't do anything. Their health system collapsed. They are now doing that here. What collapsed their countries. What they are doing here is what they were doing in their countries for their countries to collapse. Now they are moving to a country that is working. They found things working, but the things are no longer working. And soon, South Africa won't be functioning just like all the other African countries.
Which then brings me to the point that I said earlier. And I'm harboring on it intentionally because you spoke about a united Europe that works well as a bloc. And if you were to analyze what you've just said critically, you will then say, in conclusion, this bloc of Africa can work. Because if your neighborhood is poor, you're the only household
We're in trouble.
that has some money.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Because they're going to jump the fence and come and steal.
Yeah, you're in trouble. You won't even enjoy your
You can't.
your riches.
No, you can't. You can't drive out and go to the shop.
hijack.
Exactly.
So that's what is happening.
Then why don't we, as an argument, try to help our neighbors and cousins and empower their kids so their kids will then be able to look after their household?
Yeah.
We are not saying come in and eat with us.
Yeah.
We are saying here's 5 rand, go to school.
Yes.
For example.
Yes.
So you can look after your own family. So you're solving your own problem differently.
Yes.
By not saying ngenani lane.
Yeah.
Because that's not solving your problem.
It's not.
Because one thing that you will learn is that people who get free things will always want free things.
Yeah.
South Africa is a problem as a result of that. Then we are not. Are we doing anything as a South African country to try to help our neighbors?
We lack leadership. Africa lacks leaders. We no longer, not just South Africa alone. Africa as a whole, we lack leaders. Now, we lack visionary leaders to say, because you have these leaders who want to operate in silos, not as Africa, where they do things as a bloc, where they make policies that it's to beneficiary to all. But it also speaks to the instability into the different countries. Some of the countries are so, they are focused on survival, ethnic cleansing, that they can't be thinking about
Big things.
Big things.
AI.
They are fighting for survivor.
Yeah.
You go to Congo.
They're fighting against gays and lesbians.
You understand?
Yes.
You go to Cameroon. You have Paul Biya, who's almost 100 years. But he's still contesting elections. You go to Uganda. You have Museveni there. So it's an African problem.
Yeah.
But let's come back to South Africa here. We say, SADC.
Immediate neighbor.
Why is SADC failing? Right? Because what is happening, us having the Zimbabweans here, should have not happened. South Africa should have intervened before Zimbabwe collapsed. In fact, the Zimbabweans argue that South Africa contributed
to the problem.
To the problems when Thabo Mbeki switched off the electricity there in 2005 or 2006.
And Ghana, there was, what do they call it? Silent diplomacy.
The silent diplomacy.
Yeah, where we said nothing.
Because of this. Today, as we speak here, there is a useless, nonsensical thing called Liberation Conference. Liberation Movement Conference. It's here in South Africa.
Yes.
All the liberation, whatever, ZANU-PF, you name them.
They're here.
They are here. Why are they still liberation movements when all of them are in government?
Do you know an argument that I had with a Zimbabwean who's in South Africa, who's running a business as well. He's running an electricity business. He electrifies houses and so forth. He was saying to me that he's living a very good life here in South Africa.
All of them.
He's having a good time.
All of them.
Yeah. And I said to him, why aren't you focused as a people to try to liberate your country? Do you know that Zimbabweans you find most Zimbabweans in many other countries than in their own countries.
Of course.
Basically, there are more Zimbabweans in other countries around the world than in their own countries. And I asked him, why don't you put enough effort to try to fight this liberation and fight and win your country back? Because no one in their right mind wants to be a foreigner, particularly an unhappy illegal foreigner. And he said, no, you guys have welcomed us nicely. We are good here. We will always make money and take it back home. And that's his response to it. I said, the big difference between our liberation fighters when they were in your country, Zimbabwe, for example, and other countries.
They were kept in camps.
They were, one, kept in camps. Two, they were there fighting for liberation. They were not just there.
They were not working.
They were not trying to
They were not doing business.
No.
You understand? So, but they are not, remember these people, like I said, they are not here as asylum seekers. They are not, there's no war in Zimbabwe.
They can say they are economic
there's no
refugees.
War. There's no war in Zimbabwe.
But they're economic refugees.
Zimbabwe is functioning properly as we speak. It's functioning. Zimbabwe is not collapsed. Zimbabwe is a fully functioning country. It has systems. They have hospitals. They have everything. They ran here because it's lawless. They don't want to be controlled by institutions and systems. They ran away from their countries because here they can do as it pleases. That is the sole reason. There are people who are selling vegetables in Zimbabwe and they are surviving. They are not killed to sell vegetables. But they decide to come sell vegetables here because they can sell them anywhere. If you go to the town there in Bulawayo, you can't see people, the town filthy or dirty. So there's no economic what that they're talking about. In fact, those Zimbabweans in Harare are living nice. There are Zimbabweans who will never leave Zimbabwe. They don't want to leave. They are rich and doing well there. They have suburbs, they have everything there. But they are coming here not because there is no jobs in their country. That's a lie. That's a lie. There is no person who's saying, I'm not employed in Zimbabwe because I'm a Mandebele. But you have your own region there, the Matebele land. They are working. There are people who are teachers there and working. There are schools, there are hospitals. It's functioning. They are here because there is lawlessness. And that's why he's saying they are taking the money back home. Because if home was bad, they wouldn't be developing home. They will be developing here. The same way that the Pakistanis and the Somalians, they are taking the money back to their country, impoverishing South Africa. That's the problem. That is the biggest problem. Them being here benefits the country nothing, but it is stripping it off. You look at the trucks, the cars that are going there. It is developing that they can go home, but yeah, they leave Johannesburg collapsed. It's nothing. It's a trash. It's bad. But what they are doing here, they can't do in their countries. We need to intensify. People must be here legally. When you go to, my daughter is in Japan. When she went there, she spent a year learning the Japanese language.
Not the other way around.
Not the other way around. She had to be indoctrinated to the culture of that country. I have a nephew who's studying in Russia as well. When he went there to study there, he had to learn the Russian language and the culture. He is being put in the Russian. What is happening here? Nigerians are pushing their own culture in a foreign country. They are pushing their own culture. When my nephew went to Russia, his culture, he can't practice it there. If you want to practice it, must go home.
Do you know?
I'm telling you the truth.
There's a company we deal with on my radio show. They hire people. They're looking for truck drivers and train drivers. Part of the requisite, it's a German company. They're looking to hire them from South Africa to Germany. Part of the requests and the prerequisite is that you must be able to speak German or be willing to learn it.
Exactly.
Before you get the job.
That's it. Yeah, it's a free-for-all, which is a problem. But it can only be fixed by the South Africans themselves. They need to swell ranks. They need to take over their communities. They have surrendered their communities to the criminals and to the drug cartels. They have surrendered it to them. But trust me, South Africans have capacity and power to fight when they are cornered.
King David Studio Podcast.